comedic voices of Adam Fetterman, everybody. All right, we're in warm-ups right now. We should be starting here in a couple minutes. We don't have any time on the clock in terms of how much warm-up we still have to go, but we'll be dropping the puck here in a couple minutes, I would assume. Just about ready to go here at Northbrook Source Center with the JV game for the night between the Glenbrook North Spartans and the St. Ignatius Wolfpack. Spartans come in with a record of 2-3-1 on the SHL season, and St. Ignatius is 3-4 on the season. And you'll see on the GBN side, there's all the players have their sticks taped in pink, and they're winging pink ribbons on their arms, and pink tape on their helmets. That's for tonight is our Pink the Rink celebration, which is in coordination with the American Cancer Society for breast cancer awareness. Okay, looks like we're about ready to drop the puck. We got an opening lineup with Logan Valencia in net, Ralphie Oriyama, and Ari Rosen on defense, and Remy Wyman, Daniel Coe, and Aiden Murphy at center. All right, puck goes back to Rosen. He chips it up to the blue line, and Ignatius gets it there and then sends it down deep. And they fight for it in the corner. And a centering pass goes through a couple of legs and back out to center ice. Wyman gives chase there. And it's knocked back out to center ice. And a couple of players go along the boards are battling for it. And nice pass over to Wyman, gets it into the zone, and it looks like it's going to be offsides. And so we'll have a face-off just outside the St. Ignatius blue line. And that comes over to Wyman, who chips it in deep. And behind the net it goes. St. Ignatius picks it up there. Murphy gives challenge, but St. Ignatius gets it out, and they're going to get a breakaway. And a shot, and they score. 47 seconds into the game, Ignatius takes a 1-0 lead. He tried to chip at the blue line, tried to catch up to a pass, and St. Ignatius was able to beat us to it, chip it ahead, and get the breakaway because of it, and he was able to go high blocker side against Logan. So 1-0 lead early here for St. Ignatius. And they bring it into the zone once again, and down low, take a shot. That goes a little wide. Murph's got the puck. Oh, sorry, that's Troy's got the puck, cross bits. And he brings it into the offensive zone and sends it in behind the net. Housechild's down there to challenge for it. And it's along the sideboards, picked up by St. Ignatius. They chip it back out to center ice past Signer, who picks it up and goes cross ice over to Fetterman, who carries it in over the zone, drives to the net, and gets a sharp angle shot. It's a nice stick save by Coleman, the Ignatius goalie. McCabe at the blue line takes a shot. That gets blocked, and Fetterman kept it in for a second, but then Ignatius is able to take it in again, and they bring it in offsides. All right, face-off just outside the Northbrook zone. It's taken and controlled by Ignatius, and they send it in deep. Back there, Stryko picks it up in the corner, and he turns, and the puck rolls off his stick and comes right back out to the slot. And then back out to center ice by GBN. Fleischer gives chase there, but he's ultimately able to chip it in deep into the St. Ignatius zone. Marlantis challenges for it there, and Fleischer gets it over to Marlantis, then to Jacob, and he takes a shot, goes a little wide. And Marlantis with a nice little bump along the boards, but Ignatius controls the puck and comes back out to center ice. An errant pass goes a little bit wide and right onto Stryko's stick, who goes D to D over to LeBoyer, who clears it back out to center ice, and Fleischer will take it, and he'll get it into the St. Ignatius zone once again, but Ignatius takes him off the puck, and they control it, and another turnover by Ignatius. They send it to the blue line, and we chip it back in deep. And Marlantis gives chase to the Ignatius defender there, and he does cause a turnover there for a second, but then they chip it back out to center ice, and Rosen takes it there, retreats into his own zone, and Max has an errant pass that goes over to the Ignatius defender once again, and then they send it in deep into the GBN zone for an icing call. So we'll have a face-off down in the Ignatius zone. So Regan on the faceoff goes right on net, and the goalie
tries to cover it up, and then Marcus has a puck right outside. A couple of whacks at it. That gets blocked, and then he centers it back out in front, and nobody can quite get a stick on that. Well, Regan's got it now, and he shoots it a little wide, and St. Ignatius chips it up and gets it out of the zone, and now we've got a whistle. Looks like maybe a penalty call. And a couple of players colliding along the boards. And Ignatius is going to the penalty box, so it looks like we'll get a power play. All right, Murphy for the face-off on the power play unit in the St. Ignatius zone. Goes back to Rosen. And he loses control of the puck, and St. Ignatius is going to get another partial break, and that is a nice little poke check, goes a little wide, but the puck gets cleared right back out to the front of the net again, and nice defensive there to make sure there's not a quality chance coming out of that. Wyman takes it back out to center ice, but he gets stood up, and Coe's got the puck back in the defensive zone and up to LeBoyer, who goes a little bit out of his reach, and then over to the St. Ignatius defender, but he gets it right. It comes right back to him, and he sends it out to center ice again. LeBoyer has it there, and he carries it into the offensive zone, and he's looking to make a move past the man, but a little too much mustard on that pass to himself, past the defender, and it rolls in on goal, who St. Ignatius freezes the puck, and we'll have a face-off to the right of the Ignatius goalie. All right, Grosspit's out there for the face-off on the penalty, which has got 1:15 left, or on the power play, I should say. And the puck is cleared out down behind the zone. And Merlantis there over to Signer. And that goes to Halschild, who can't control it. And it's out to center ice by St. Ignatius. Stryko, who sends it to center ice, and that can't be controlled. And then it's dumped back into the GBN zone. Stryko's got the puck there behind the net. He's go to the sides boards and out to Signer at center ice, and that's a contested pass and doesn't connect. And then Merlantis ultimately picks it up and drops it on the sideboards, and it gets cleared out once again to the GBN line. Signer there with the puck, and he almost turned it over. And now he sends it up to Merlantis, who carries it over the Ignatius line, tries to make a move around the defender, but it rolls off his stick right to GBN, and then a shot by Stryko at the point goes a little wide. Signer with the puck again, and he takes a sidestep around a defender, but can't make a move past the second guy, and then it goes over to the side, but to Grosspitz, who's given a rough ride by his defender, and then there's a turnover. Ignatius takes the puck and clears it into their own bench, and so we should get another face-off in the offensive zone. All right, face-off won by Ignatius. And, a funny bounce off the partition, and GBN's able to control it. It bounces right out in front, and Henry takes a whack at it and probably needs to get his skates sharpened, and then out to center ice the puck comes, and St. Ignatius is battled on by a couple of guys and ultimately rolls back down to the defensive zone, and Rosen's got it there behind the net, brings it out just past the line, and a turnover at center ice. Spiegel with a nice hit there to ride the Ignatius player off the puck, but nobody can control it, and then Rosen with a nice little poke check is able to knock it away from the defender. Marcus with a nice little head of speed is going to try to get that puck, and he does get the turnover and bouncing around and can't really get a good shot on goal, but now St. Ignatius is able to clear it to center ice, and nice lead pass to Spiegel, but puck rolls off his stick, and Ignatius has the puck once again. They clear it to center out ice yet again, and LeBoyer takes it over there, and then it rolls off his stick to Ignatius once again, who then takes it into the offensive zone, but he's surrounded by 3 GBN players, but then bouncing puck once again goes to GBN, and now Wyman's got the puck. He's 1-on-2 over the Ignatius line. He gets right off into the corner, and Ignatius clears it out to center ice once again. Strico gives chase back there to go get it, and is going to carry it out to center ice, but he loses control of it, and it goes back into the GBN zone. Boyer there to goes cross ice to Murphy, who is able to send it into the deep into the Iggy zone, and bouncing puck once again goes just outside the Iggy zone, and GBN tags up and then goes challenges deep once again for the puck. And it's by McCabe, who comes out to the blue line, who chips it back in deep into the offensive zone, but goes around the sideboards, and Iggy's able to pick it up there, and they had a 2-on-1 opportunity, but McCabe with a nice play to knock that puck out of harm's way. And then the rest of the team was able to catch up and thwart any other chances. So, and now the puck is deflected out of play. And we'll have a face-off to Valencia's right. Or his left, I guess. All right, Marlantis on the face-off. And it's won by St. Ignatius. They chip it behind the net. McCabe picks it up there, goes along the sideboards. And that gets picked off. The clearing attempt gets picked off. It goes behind the net again. And we clear it down the zone. And that is, nope, icing is waved off. So Jacob is there with giving his man a rough ride behind the net. And that does lead into a turnover eventually. And GBN is able to get the puck and chip it in deep once again. Looks like Alec Fleischer is there to a little bit of a hit behind the net, but Ignatius is able to get the puck at center ice, and they carry it in over the zone contested, and we're going to get a tripping call. I think REM is going to be going to the box. All right, so Ignatius with the 1-0 lead, and they also have the power play now. So Loken, O'Regan, Rosen, and LeBoyer, I believe, are out there on the penalty kill. And Ignatius wins the puck, takes it behind the net, sitting on the sideboards or on the near face-off circle, and can't decide what to do with it. And then an errant pass goes out to center ice, and O'Regan gives chase there. And they start to bring it back into the offensive zone, and they bring it into the corner, or deep into the net, and then along the sideboards, Marcus has got it there, and is able to, he hacks at it a couple of times, but he can't quite get it out. Nice play by the defenseman to get it over the sideboards, and Marcus was able to recover and send it back down into the offensive zone, and 1:20 left on the power play for St. Ignatius. All right, go for a change. Fetterman out there with O'Regan still out there. And looks like Ignatius comes in off sides. And we'll get a couple more player changes for GBN. So Signer and Stryko will come out there, as well as Spiegel and Fetterman for the penalty kill. And the faceoff swings by GBN. Stryko back to Stryko, and he sends it cross ice all the way down. And Fetterman gives chase there. And comes out to center ice. And St. Ignatius is able to carry it into the offensive zone, and they go cross ice to the D, and Stryko is able to get control of the puck, and his clearing attempt it gets picked off. And now it goes back out to the blue line again. Ignatius has got the puck there. They go D to D. And back down into the far circle, and back to D, back to the far face-off circle. And around the net they go, and a soft little pass out in front. There was a little bit of a half pass, half shot. And a nice shot from the high slot is stopped by Logan. Ignatius with another long shot from the blue line. That goes wide. And that's ultimately corralled by Signer, who can't get it out of the zone. And then, I thought Spiegel was going to get that one, but it gets just out of his reach. Ultimately, it is cleared out to the Ignatius blue line, and the penalty is over. We're back at even strength. Murphy's given chase in the offensive zone. And we get control of it back at center ice, but it goes through LeBoyer's legs, and so he tries to clear it back out to center ice, and he chips it up ahead to Murphy, who bouncing around the puck around at center ice again, goes into the defensive zone, or in the offensive zone, and Ignatius still has control of it there, but chipped back up to LeBoyer, who sends it in deep into the Ignatius zone. Wyman there with giving chase into the corner. Murphy's there to help him out as well. He picks it up into the corner, sends it out in front, and just a shot just goes wide by Coe. That just went a little bit high and wide off the far side of the net. And Ignatius picks up the puck and comes out 1-on-3 over the line. They decided to just chip it in deep. And McCabe picks it up there over to Wyman along the sideboards, but it goes out of his reach and rings all the way around and goes into the Ignatius zone once again. They pick it up behind their own net, and Coe gives a nice ride to the player there, who ends up turning it over to center ice, and LeBoyer there's got the puck, and he sends it in, but not very deep, and then ultimately it is chipped back into the GBN zone, and icing is waved off, and McCabe tries to send it out, but it goes off the skate, and now there's a battle, and it does get out to center ice, and Fetterman gives chase there, and Ignatius sends it in deep once again. And McCabe there. He's hit from behind. Is that going to be a penalty? We do have a whistle. And that is going to be a penalty, so St. Ignatius going to the box. And GBN will go back to the power play. So Grosspitz, Marlantis, and Hothschild out there, along with Signer and Stryko. And the faceoff is cleared out to center ice. Signer there has got it. He chips it in deep. And Ignatius picks it up, and I think they're calling it intentional offsides. And so the faceoff will come back all the way down into the GBN zone. And St. Ignatius wins the faceoff, and it goes back out to the defenseman, and then a turnover right to our defenseman, Stryko, who then ultimately carries the puck off into the blue line, over the blue line, and into the Ignatius zone. Behind the net, there's a battle for it into the corner now. Four bodies are all tied up for it. Marlantis ends up with the puck behind the net, and he sends it out to the blue line to Signer, and he ends up sending it to the front of the net, but hits a couple of bodies, and now it's cleared behind the net once again by Grosspitz. And back into the corner by Hochschild, and then that's picked off by St. Ignatius, who sends it in deep. And Strike goes back to pick it up with a minute left in the power play. And out to center ice the puck comes, and Wyman has control of it there. He's looking for somewhere to go with it, but it's knocked off his stick, and Ignatius is able to get it in deep into the offensive zone once again. LeBoyer circles with it back behind his own net and brings it out to center ice, carries it up and over the blue line into the corner. And now he's fighting for it with it behind the net. He's still got control of it, looking for somewhere to go with it. He sends it out to the blue line with Wyman, who sends it over to Coe, who sends it over to Rosen in the far side with a sharp angle shot that gets deflected away, and the puck comes down into the GBN zone. Wyman there to go pick it up, but he's getting pressured by St. Ignatius, but ultimately Koga ends up with it and brings it back out and over to the Ignatius zone, and he's got it in the corner. And the penalty is over. And LeBoyers chips at it, but now it goes past Wyman at the blue line, and we've got Ignatius has got another chance at a breakaway, and Wyman takes the man down, and we'll see what the call is going to be. It's going to be at least a penalty. Don't know, waiting to see if they call a penalty shot or not. Okay, looks like it's just going to be a penalty. So with 23 seconds left in the first period and a 1-0 lead, St. Ignatius will go on the power play. Loken and O'Regan out there once again to start this penalty kill, along with LeBoyer and Rosen. Ignatius with the face-off win once again. They've been winning a ton of those tonight so far. And then a nice shot from the defenseman, and Logan's able to knock that one into the corner off of his glove, and now back out to the blue line and then to the sideboards. It's harassed there, and a shot goes wide after the Ignatius player made a couple of nice plays, or a couple of nice moves to get an open shot in front of the net, but ultimately that one went wide, and then the buzzer sounds for the end of the first period. So we got 1:38 left on the power play for St. Ignatius heading into the second period. 1-0 St. Ignatius. All right, ready to start here the second period. Still on the penalty kill, so Regan and Loken start on the forwards, and McCabe and Signer come out on defense, and face-off is won to McCabe, and he sends it in deep. St. Ignatius picks up the puck behind their own zone, or behind their own net, sends it along the sideboards, and through center ice they come, and they're pushed up against the sides, and ultimately turn the puck over to Signer, who clears it down. And Loken gives chase to the St. Ignatius player behind the net, and they make a nice pass to the side, and cross-ice pass once again, and they bring the puck over to the blue line, and then they keep the puck, control of the puck in the corner, and then they send it out in front, and nice shot by St. Ignatius there from just off the high slot, and they were able to, Logan's able to make a save there, and his puck goes a little wide. They bring it to the side of the net, another shot, and Marcus has a chance now. He's going to bring it in. He's going to go one-on-one over the line. He's going to try to beat his guy. Oh, and his shot's deflected up and hits the rafters, and so the whistle blows. And we'll have a face-off in the offensive zone. 33 seconds left to go on the penalty kill. So Jacob and Fleischer out there with LeBoyer and Stryko on the remainder of this penalty kill. And that puck comes out to center ice, and St. Ignatius is able to bring it into the offensive zone there. And tried to go feed it right in front of the net, but a nice play by LeBoyer to knock that one away. And we've got a player that gets knocked down on the far face-off circle, and then his man is able to drive right in front of the net and put one over Logan's shoulder. So it's now 2-0 for St. Ignatius with the power play goal to early in the second period. All right, face-off won by St. Ignatius once again, and puck is turned over a couple of times at center ice. But ultimately, Marlantis is able to send it in deep into the zone, and around the far boards it goes, and St. Ignatius is able to carry it out to center ice, and over the GBN blue line, but gets knocked off a puck there, and not quite out, but now there's another chance right in front of the GBN zone. A couple of nice plays to get a nice shot off, but Logan with the save on that one. And now there's a little bit of pushing and shoving and maybe a little bit of talking. And looks like somebody's being escorted off to the penalty box for St. Ignatius. And so GBN might be going to the power play here. Definitely needed a goal here with if we are headed to the power play, down 2-0 here early in the second. All right, so Murph on the face-off, and that is one over to Coe to Rosen, who shoots one that just goes a little wide, and then Ignatius is able to pick it up, but they clear it up into the players' bench for GBN, so there will be a face-off inside the offensive zone once again. So Murphy once again for the face-off. So win it over to Coe and along the sideboards, and he sends it up to the blue line with Wyman there, and he drops it back over to Coe along the sideboards. He takes a wide shot, and Stryko's able to pick it up there along, and then LeBoyer takes it behind the net, passes it over to Coe, who brings it out to Wyman at the top, and the side to Stryko, who goes cross ice to Coe and sends it back over to the middle to Murphy, who's tied up, and the puck is deflected there, and now St. Ignatius has a 2-on-1 shorthanded, and the errant pass leads to nothing, but they do still have the puck in the offensive zone. And finally we're able to control it, and Daniel takes it behind the net and looks to regroup and sends it over to Wyman, who takes it over through center ice and through past the blue line, deep behind the net, circles around, looking for somewhere to go with it. Over to Stryko, down to LeBoyer behind the net. He's looking for somewhere to go with it, to Daniel to the side, to Wyman at the top, over to Stryko. And that's a nice shot on goal, but that's blocked by the Ignatius goalie. But it's deflected over to the sideboards, and then it's taken by Coe once again, and he plays catch with Wyman, who takes a shot, and then that's stopped by the Ignatius goalie, Coleman. And finally get a couple of nice chances on the power play there. Some good puck movement, but Coleman's up to the task so far. So another face-off win by GBN. A tip shot there. Bounces just a little wide. Signer's got the puck, and it gets past him. And Ignatius comes in 1-on-3, and he's ridden off the puck, and Grosspitz picks it up behind her own net with 5 seconds left to go on the power play. He brings it over the line to center ice, and it rolls off his stick. He's got to go back and get it. Sends it over to Stryko, and it's bounced around off his stick, and then he makes a nice sidestep move over to Signer, and he takes a shot. It goes off the goalie's mask. I think that one kind of surprised him. Now the goalie's knocked the net off by himself, and I think it was an accident, so I don't think there will be a penalty on that one, but so we should get a face-off here in the offensive zone once again. Regan, Loken, and Spiegel out there, along with Oriema and Rosen on defense. Casually getting to the face-off circle to drop this puck. And here we go. Okay, battle for it in front of the net, but Ignatius ends up coming out with it. And they try to make a move, and they get to the front of the net. That one is blocked by Valencia, which is fine with a nice pass, a nice play. And then it's sent back into the GBN zone. And Ignatius has got the puck there, and Rose is going to give his man a little bump up along the boards. And along the sideboards, it comes out to Spiegel, who can't quite control it, and then sends an errant pass over to Loken. Loken is able to challenge his man for it, but comes out to center ice. And St. Ignatius sends it out to center ice and deep into the GBN zone. And Rosen picks it up there, goes D to D. And there's a little bit of an early hit from behind, but no call there. And a lot of time spent in the GBN zone on this shift. All right, now the puck comes out to center ice, and now Rosen picks it up just at the blue line, but St. Ignatius is able to get it in deep once again. So Oriema is there and makes a soft pass along the sideboards, and that passes over to Henry, who doesn't get it out, and it goes behind the GBN, deep in the GBN zone again, and Spiegel is there to Loken, who sends it in deep and chases after it into the corner. He gets his own dump in and sends it out in front, goes right through a leg and doesn't quite get on net, but now Jacobs got there and he whiffs on a shot. And Marlantis with a nice effort to keep the puck in the zone and gives another shot that goes off the glove of Coleman. And Ignatius ends up getting it and getting it deep into the GBN zone once again. Fleischer's not able to pick up the puck as it's going, bounces off around him. And LeBoyer's pass gets picked off twice. And St. Ignatius picks it up and carries into the offensive zone. And then he's taken off the puck, and LeBoyer takes it out to center ice again. And he tries to go through another body, and that doesn't work still. And Fleischer ultimately gets it and sends it deep into the GBN zone, and then it gets cleared right back out. Stryko's there trying to do it all by himself and carries it in and makes a pass over to Fleischer that doesn't connect, and LeBoyer's able to knock it in deep once again, and GBN is offside, so they have to tag up, and now St. Ignatius brings it out to the blue line, and they ultimately dump it in deep. And they get control of it, and it goes deep in behind the GBN net, but not out. It's picked off by the Ignatius D. They send it in deep once again, and now LeBoyer's there to pick it up. He carries it out to center ice. He chips it in and gets it in deep, and we're going to get a penalty for a little bit of roughing, looks like. And Max got a little high stick there, so LeBoyer will be going to the penalty box. And we're back to the penalty kill. 7:18 left in the second period, down 2-0 with St. Ignatius going back to the power play once again. So O'Regan and Spiegel will be out there forward, and Signer and McCabe on defense. All right, puck goes back deep in the defensive zone, and McCabe's able to hack at it a couple times, but it gets taken by the GBN, or by St. Ignatius, who then has a couple of chances out in front, and it's shot just high and wide on that one. And Ignatius still has control of the puck. A lot of patience on this power play unit for Ignatius tonight so far. So they've got the puck along the sideboards. They try to go D to D, and that goes out just barely. That was pretty close, and St. Ignatius parents don't agree with that call, but a break for GBN. We'll get a reset, and we'll have a face-off just outside the blue line. Let's see, Oriema and Rosen on the penalty kill here with Wyman and Murphy. And Murphy with a face-off win, and Wyman is able to go get it along the sideboards, but ultimately corralled by St. Ignatius, and along the sideboards back to the defense. And Ralphie's able to pick up an errant pass and clear it out to center ice, and St. Ignatius will return in their own zone, but then make a nice little pass up to the blue line. And that doesn't connect, but St. Ignatius coming in hard. He was able to corral the puck for a few seconds, but then Rosen's able to pick it up and clear it all the way down. Wyman with the wheels is able to pick it up and beat everybody down to the other end with tying up the puck, and he's a nice little banging and crashing shift for Wyman, and he's still wreaking havoc back there, and now another turnover, and Murphy's able to pick up that loose puck and send it deep into the Ignatius zone. And 30 seconds left in the penalty kill. Ignatius tries to come out, and they make a nice pass to center ice. And they bring it in, going along the sides. Decides not to go behind the net, cuts it back along the side. And out to the top of the face-off circle. A shot is deflected by Rosen. And then Wyman's able to clear it all the way down. And they'll go for a change. Grosspitz out there challenging with a nice little hit behind the net. That should wipe out the rest of the power play. And we'll back at full strength. And Grosspitz is able to pick it up and keep it in the zone. Fetterman giving chase down in the corner, now behind the net. Coase now takes over, and is he going to get the puck? He is able to pick the puck up in the corner. Out to Fetterman along the sideboards, and now Grosspitz is able to get it in a little bit deeper, and now it goes back into the corner once again. Fetterman with a nice little hit there. But it's ultimately cleared out to center ice, and in comes St. Ignatius over the line as the puck goes in deep, and stride to center, but there's nobody there for St. Ignatius. And a couple of sticks tied up, and St. Ignatius is able to pick it up, and it drops it to the defenseman, and he sends it in deep, and back into the corner it goes again. Grosspitz along the sideboards is able to get it over to Coe, who gets it out to center ice, but then back in it goes, and then back out to center ice once again. Grosspitz is battling for it again once there, and then Oriema is able to ice the puck, and we'll get a change. All right, face-off in the GBN zone to the left of Valencia. We've got Marlantis, Fleischer, Jacob, and McCabe, and Signer out there. And that face-off is lost once again, but I think they're calling a hand pass maybe. So we got another whistle, and I think that will be coming out of the zone. And Marlantis wins that one, but didn't connect with Fleischer on it, and now the puck is picked up by Fleischer along the sideboards, who's given a rough ride, and out to center ice. Signer's able to corral it and send it in deep into the Ignatius zone. James is there to give his man a hit, and ultimately causes a turnover after his second hit. And he gets knocked down to the ice, and Marlantis is able to pick it up along the sideboards. He takes a shot on net with a little bit of screen by James in front, but Coleman's able to glove that one as well. And we'll have a face-off to the left of Coleman, the Ignatius goaltender. Oh, Ignatius wins that face-off, and they're able to get the puck out of the zone. And now it's a 2-on-1 for Ignatius, who after our Striko tried to challenge for that puck, and he was beaten on it and ended up in a 2-on-1 our way, but Logan's able to corral that one and make a nice glove save. All right, another face-off win for St. Ignatius and a shot on goal. Not a heavy one, but Valencia with the save, and we'll do it all over again. All right, face-off win for GBN. Out to center ice, Wyman comes to Grosspitz over the blue line, and he gets ridden off the boards, or off the puck, and then the puck is deflected out of play behind the Ignatius net. All right, another face-off won by St. Ignatius. They carry the puck out to center ice, and it gets hit off of a skate and then comes back to GBN. Coe's got it over the blue line. He passes over to Grosspitz. It's just out of his reach. But he's able to pick it up behind the net, and he's got control of it there. He's trying to decide on what he wants to do with it. Takes a spin and sends it back behind the net over to Wyman, who drops it back for Grosspitz once again. He gets a rough ride along the boards, turns the puck over, but Wyman's there to pick it up. And Grosspitz gets the puck knocked off of his stick again, and out comes St. Ignatius to center ice, and then it goes on deep into our zone. We clear it out to center ice once again, and now St. Ignatius has got it there. And they ship it in deep into the GBN zone. And there's a nice lead pass out to Grosspitz. And he's caught up to by St. Ignatius. And now the puck is still bouncing around. And St. Ignatius is able to pick it up and back out to center ice. And with a shot from just inside the blue line, Logan's able to cover that one up. And we'll get a face-off. 1:43 left here in the second period. Game's flying by. Don't know that we've had a really whole lot of high-quality scoring chances here, so need to get something moving, going along quick. All right, here with the face-off. Another win for St. Ignatius. They take a shot, goes wide. Rosen's got the puck behind the net, but it's taken off his stick, and then out to the blue line. Sent in deep once again. Oriema back there, but it gets by him, so St. Ignatius has the puck. And out to the top of the face-off circle once again, and Marcus is challenging for it, but Ignatius wins the battle to the puck and gets it into the GFN zone again, but we've got control of it, and we send it out back into the St. Ignatius zone with the puck more bouncing around than anything, and Spiegel with a nice battle with his guy to knock his guy down, and an errant pass goes off a skate and all the way back into the GBN zone, and Valencia makes an outlet pass out to Loken, but that's challenged by Ignatius, and they're able to knock it back into the defensive zone once again, or into the GBN zone. And at center ice once again, bouncing around, and now Marcus is able to pick it up. Oh, it just rolls off his stick again. And back into the deep, into the GBN zone. Oriema picks it up there along the sideboard, or behind the net. And in the corner, and now out to the Ignatius blue lane it goes, and back they come 3-on-2 over the blue line. Oriema giving battle and riding his guy into the blue line, or into the corner. And now they were able to make a centering pass, but there's nobody there to be able to corral that one. And back into the far corner it goes. And out to the blue line, and Valencia is able to get a glove on that one, and we'll go for a change. 2.6 seconds left. Maybe we won't go for a change. 2.6 seconds left in the second period. And the puck is sent behind the GBN zone, and that'll do it for the end of the period. End of the second, 2-0, St. Ignatius. All right, here we go to start the third period. We got Marlantis, Fleischer, and Jacob out there for on the forwards, and McCabe and Signer on defense. And St. Ignatius with the face-off win yet again. Dumps it into the GBN zone, and James is able to chip it back out there to center ice. But St. Ignatius controls it once again, but they chip it back to the blue line, and then we can't control it, and they chip it back into the offensive zone, and once again, St. Ignatius brings it, dumps it deep into the GBN zone. And we try to clear it around the boards, and then the shot from the blue line by Ignatius goes wide. And into the corner, Ignatius picks up the puck, and they go behind the net. And along to the sideboards, Fleischer's there to pick it up, and he gets it out to center ice. Marlantis gives chase to it there, and it bounces off his body and deep into the Ignatius zone. He tries to send it around the boards, but can't quite corral it there. And then Marlantis tries to send it out in front, and then Fleischer's got the puck there. He takes a turnaround shot that's blocked by the the Ignatius goalie. And it goes into the sideboards once again, and out to center ice. And Fleischer with a little hit that might have been behind the play, but play on, the refs say. Streichel able to pick up a pass at center ice, but then he gets it taken away from him, and Now here's a chance by Jacob, and that's stopped by Coleman. And the rebound stopped by him as well. And now puck's is kept in by LeBoyer. And doesn't get deep, so St. Ignatius gets it back out to center ice, and then we send it in deep once again, and we'll go for a change. And Wyman out there giving chase. He's getting a rough ride, but he picks it up behind the net and rolls off his stick. And battling for it, and St. Ignatius comes out with the puck in the corner. And out front they come, and then Wyman back to center ice, goes. Oh, there should be, yeah, there's a trip. So we'll be heading to the power play here as Wyman was tripped along the boards, trying to carry the puck in around and behind the net. And 12:39 left to go in the third period. Definitely need to get something going on this power play. All right, Murphy with the faceoff win. Back to Stryko, who takes a shot, and he scores! Just like that, right off the faceoff play, and the power play goal 3 seconds into the power play, and Stryko gets a goal and makes it a 2-1 game. Definitely needed that one. Right back into it now. Let's get this momentum going and keep this rolling. All right, swapping out pucks. Haven't seen that before. Are they keeping that one as a souvenir? Okay. All right, Murphy with the face-off. And the win back to Stryko. He goes D to D over to LeBoyer. And then LeBoyer sends it out to center ice, but that goes, chips around, and he gets it in deep. But St. Ignatius gets control of it there, and now Max will give chase to number 17 for St. Ignatius, who's been all over the ice tonight. He gets a rough ride from Max. Like to see that. He's been a really good player. Number 17 has for GBN or for St. Ignatius, and he just had a nice stuff shot attempt there too. But Logan with the save, and we'll have a face-off. All right, one face-off won by St. Ignatius once again, and they control the puck. They try to go up out to the D, but that gets picked off, and now we got a breakaway for Marcus. He's in, and he makes a pass. Oh, and Spiegel's not able to get a good shot off. And then St. Ignatius is able to clear it out back into the GBN zone. Not icing because it doesn't go far enough. Signer there to pick it up, and he whiffs on a shot, and it goes over his stick again. And Jesus, like, all right. Henry is with the puck behind the net over to Spiegel, and he goes over to Marcus. Marcus tries to get the puck in deep. He gets a little bit of a rough ride by the St. Ignatius player, but he sticks with it. He's battling for it in the corner. And back out to center ice, St. Ignatius comes, and Marcus gives this guy a little rough ride and forces him to chip it in deep. But St. Ignatius brings it out to the high slot, and that puck gets deflected and sent into the corner. And now that puck's able to be deflected out to center ice, but That's a shot on goal while they're offsides. So that should definitely come. That should come all the way down, but I guess it's just going to be outside of the GBN zone. All right, Cole with a face-off win. Back to Oriema, who sends it out to center ice, and then it's mishandled by St. Ignatius there. And then we got a 3-on-1 Bruin with Wyman, and he gets it, sends it back over to the slot, but the puck bounces around. We can't get a good stick on it, and it goes wide of the net. And then the ref helps us out at center ice with a clearing attempt, and that gets chipped back in deep into the St. Ignatius zone. Grossbitz with challenging his guy for it there. And now along the sideboards, it comes back out to center ice, but they retreat back into their own zone. And Rosen's able to knock down that play and carry it into the St. Ignatius zone. And he's battling for it in the corner. Grossbitz down there still. And he's able to pick it up and carry it to the corner. He tries to send it out in front. A nice shot over to Wyman, who was able to bury that one. And we got a 2-2 game, brand new game here. Nice play. I think it was Grossbitz over to Wyman. So able to tie this game up at 2 with 9:24 left in the third. So I don't know, we had a whole lot of chances for the first couple of periods, but here in the last few minutes, definitely have the momentum going our way. Got some good chances, a couple of goals, and we've tied this game up. All right, Ignatius with the puck again at center ice and over the blue line. Deep into the corner. And they're ridden off the puck there, but there's a battle of 3 or 4 guys in the far corner. And Ignatius is able to come out with it. They try to center it, but there's nobody there. And James isn't able to corral it, but they do get it out to center ice. James gives his guy a rough ride, and Marlantis carries the puck over the blue line and tries to take a shot. That gets stopped by the defenseman. James is there to battle for it once again. He's looking to hit somebody, and he's found somebody to wrestle with along the sideboards, but Ignatius is able to pick it up. And they just barely missed a stretch pass that was very close to becoming a breakaway, but instead becomes icing. Now we'll have a face-off down into the St. Ignatius zone. All right, Murphy, Fetterman, and Hoffschild come out here for the face-off along with McCabe and Signer. And that one's won by Murphy, back to Fetterman, but he doesn't get all of that shot, and it goes a little wide, but a shot wide out in front, and Fetterman puts a backhander on the net, but it goes a little wide, and now St. Ignatius gets control of the puck, and they come 2-on-2 over the line. They chip it in deep, and McCabe's back there. He corrals it. He sends it over to the side, but turns it over, and now it's at the blue line, and a shot, but that gets deflected. And Murphy there, and then they get it over to Fetterman. Fetterman at center ice. Can't corral it with a stick. He kicks it forward, and then St. Ignatius is able to pick it off and send it back out to center ice, and now St. Ignatius is in offsides. All right, with the face-off just outside the GBN zone, we've got O'Regan, Loken, and Spiegel on offense, Oriema and Rosen on defense. And face-off win, O'Regan's got it. He takes it over the St. Ignatius blue line, gets it in deep into the corner. He tries to pick up his own puck there. Spiegel's got it there, looking for somebody to pass it to. He goes out to the blue line to Oriema, who takes a shot, and he shoots and scores. And just like that, it's a 3-2 lead for GBN. Oriema with the go-ahead goal here with 7:30 left in the third period. I'm sure there was a screen out in front. I don't think the Coleman saw that one but it went post in the upper right-hand corner. So a nice shot by Ralphie. And GBN with the lead. All right, Regan with the face-off win yet again, but then it goes off of skate and goes into the defensive zone, but then GBN's able to shoot it down and to get it deep into the St. Ignatius end, but they're able to carry it out over to center ice. Well, Regan with a nice challenge there, but St. Ignatius is still able to get it in deep. Behind the net, LeBoyer goes, and LeBoyer still challenging his guy in the corner, giving him a rough ride, and then Marcus along the sideboards can't catch up to it as fast as the St. Ignatius player is, and then here's number 17 for Ignatius again, that really good player that's been all over for him, and he's going to take it along the sideboards, drive to the net, goes behind the net, he decides to change directions, he sends it in front, but that's covered up, and Max tries to clear it out to center ice, and he does get it out. Marcus is able to challenge for it, but St. Ignatius is able to come in fast and dump it in deep into the GBN zone once again, and Max sends it out to Grosspitz, who can't connect on that pass. It's turned over at center ice, but now it's bouncing around again, and St. Ignatius has it, and they've got it in 3-on-2 over the GBN line. And they're forced behind the net by LeBoyer, and he's able to get it to the blue line, but then that's taken by St. Ignatius once again and sent in deep behind the net. They are looking for somebody to pass it to. A pass out in front is shot, but then deflected by our defense and turned away. And then we dump it into the St. Ignatius zone where they pick it up into the corner, and then they try to clear it, but Wyman is there to take it, and he sends it over to Daniel, and now he gets a shot that's deflected. It goes back to his feet, but he can't quite corral it there. And St. Ignatius has it, and they clear it down all the way, and that'll be icing. 5:21 left here in the third period. It's 3-2 in favor of GBN. And a much-needed win here in the SHL league play. All right, Coe, Grosspitz, and Wyman out there along with McCabe and Signer. And a face-off win over to Signer, and he takes a shot on that gets tipped out in front, but that goes wide, and Wyman is looking to challenge his guy in the corner, but that ends up getting cleared all the way down for another icing call, and we'll have a face-off once again. All right, Merlantis on the face-off this time with Fleischer and Jacob. And that face-off is corralled by St. Ignatius, and they bring it in over the line and try to take a shot on net, and that goes a little wide, and then a turnaround, and the wrap around the net comes out in front, and that's a shot that goes a little wide, and the rebound, they can't control it, and now it goes all the way down into the St. Ignatius zone. James giving chase. And it goes into the corner for Merlantis, and he is able to get it out in front, and the bouncing puck just barely is corralled by Coleman, the Ignatius goaltender. He's able to pounce on it. All right, Merlantis with the face-off win out to Oriema, who chips it in deep. And along the sideboards, it comes back out to center ice. Wyman the Oriema giving chase there. He sends it back down and into the Ignatius zone. Iggy's got the puck. Ooh, and Rosen's down in the GBN zone. I didn't see what happened there. But looks like he got an awkward hit, more likely. Hopefully that's just a Charlie horse and nothing else. So we'll have a face-off outside the St. Ignatius zone. So Murphy, Fetterman, and Hochschild out there now with Strakowski and LeBoyer. And a face-off win for GBN, and that goes over from Stryko over to LeBoyer, who gets it in deep. And Fetterman's able to keep it in over there, but then Ignatius is able to get control of the puck, and they do get it out to center ice. So they a soft little touch pass over to, oh my goodness, and they've got some pressure out in front, and they got a chance off. Logan saved it, knocked it into the corner, but we're going to get a penalty. And I think that's Murphy going to the box. So on the penalty kill here with 3:49 to go and a 3-2 lead. So Regan and Loken on the penalty kill along with Stryko and LeBoyer. And Ignatius with the face-off win yet again. And they set it up in the offensive zone, circling the puck around. And that went out to the high slot, but didn't quite connect on that one. Marcus giving chase. And they shoot it from up high, and that gets deflected out in front. Stryko takes it behind the net. He tries to clear it, but it hits a couple of legs and can't get out. O'Regan hacks at it. That doesn't get out. And that shot goes wide. And now to the high D and out to the sideboards. And the shot goes wide once again. And another shot goes wide. The rebound shot went wide. And there's number 17. He's got control of the puck. And he's been dangerous tonight. He's got the puck back again. He's going to take a shot, and that goes is blocked by Valencia. And Henry with a nice chip around the defenseman, and he clears it all the way down. And Loken giving chase to the Ignatius defender, and he does a nice job to get the puck up quickly, and they are quickly back over the line and setting it up in the offensive zone once again. They try to clear it out, or send it in front, but that doesn't have anywhere to go. Goes into the corner or along the sideboards. They take a shot. That goes high and wide. And up to the D. And they go D to D again, and that one's chipped or deflected wide. And now number 17 still got the puck, and then it goes back to the defenseman. He takes a shot wide. Oh, and that just bounced a little bit wide. And that was a little bit luck, and now 17 takes another shot that just goes high and wide. And penalty is over, so the penalty kill is effective. But we still have a lot of pressure in our defensive zone, and oh, my goodness. I don't know how that didn't go in. I thought it was. It must have hit the post or something. I don't have to go back and watch the replay on that one. But ultimately, Logan's able to pounce on that one. And now there's some pushing and shoving and talking, and the refs are getting in between everything. So a whole lot of talking. I'm not sure what's going on here. Looks like there's going to be a face-off outside the GBN zone. Maybe there's a timeout being taken, possibly. I'm guessing. Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I think there's a timeout taken by St. Ignatius. Big penalty kill there with 3 minutes to go. That was key Now we got a minute 37 left here in the third period, so hopefully we can finish out the rest of this game. You got to assume Ignatius is going to pull their goalie here. They've been really good at corralling the puck and keeping control of it, both in their own defensive zone and in the offensive zone. So with the faceoff just outside the GBN blue line, I wouldn't be surprised if they start with 6 on the ice, or at least if they win the faceoff, which they've been doing quite often tonight, if they pull a goalie immediately afterward, they get control of the puck. All right, looks like St. Ignatius is going to keep Coleman in the net for now. But he's pretty much in the middle of the 2 face-off circles, so he's getting ready to go to the bench fairly quickly if St. Ignatius wins this face-off. All right, let's see who we got out there. We've got Hochschild, Coe, Murphy, Stryko, and LeBoyer out there. And St. Ignatius does win the face-off. They get it deep into the GBN zone. Coleman's still sitting at the half boards, but it does come out to center ice, and now GBN's got, almost had a 3-on-2, but now it does get over to Coe, but he's tied up nicely, and Hochschild could have gotten a call there, but he doesn't. So now we've got the puck in the offensive zone with 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go in the game. And let's see, Hochschild tries to get that deep, but it doesn't go. And now, Stryko whiffs on it. And ends up going over to Murphy and then to Coe, to a nice shot on goal. And that's deflected by Coleman, but the rebound's given up right in front, and we still keep control of the puck inside the offensive zone. Hochschild's battling for it down low, and now out comes St. Ignatius, but they chip it into the GBN zone. That goes off Stryko's stick, and he can't control it there, but LeBoyer's got it. He sends it over the sideboards, and a bouncing puck goes over Hochschild's stick, so he can't knock it out of the zone. Stryko gets it behind the net once again, and Murphy's able to deflect it there, and then Coe's got it with an empty net, and he's going to seal this one away for GBN. 4-2 with 12.6 seconds left to go. This is going to be an epic third period comeback for GBN on Pink the Rink night. As I said earlier, this is going to be a much needed win for GBN in the SHL standings. All right, Marlantis, Jacob, and Wyman out there with McCabe and Signer. And that puck, I thought that was in McCabe's jersey, but it got through him, I guess, and then down into, careful over there, Alex. That puck right at the end was flicked in and almost went into the scorer's box and almost hit our scorekeeper in the head. Luckily, it hit the glass just in front of him. So there we go from the end of the game here in Northbrook Sports Center. So 4-2 is the finals. GBN over St. Ignatius with an exciting third period comeback, scoring 4 goals unanswered here in the third. And to gain an important 2 points in the standings. And next games being broadcast by GBN will be tomorrow. We've got games for VAR 1 and VAR 2 being broadcast, so come back and join us on the same channel. And with that, I'll be signing off.